What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Natty News Daily podcast. As you guys can see, we've got a very, very special guest all the way from Germany. So appreciate you navigating the time change and all that kind of stuff, my man. We've got Julian Bruske on the podcast. Welcome, my friend.
2024 Natty News Daily Athlete of the Year.
Hell yeah.
Hmm. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Welcome here. Yeah, I'm very glad to have this podcast today with you. Very excited about it, especially the topics we will discuss. I don't know what's coming up to me, but yeah, I'm excited.
We got to keep the guests guessing. We throw random questions at you just to see if you're awake still.
Okay, we will try.
Awesome,
It was a
man.
long day.
That's all right. So for the few that maybe don't know who you are, can you just give a quick kind of short, you know, how long you've been
Yes,
bodybuilding, when you started, and then we'll just go from there.
perfect. Yeah, easy going. Yeah, my name is Julian Bruske. I'm 26 years old, from Germany, and I'm doing natural bodybuilding since I'm actually 14 and a half.
Oh wow.
There my dad, um, yeah, got me some dumbbells as a Easter present. And since then, I was doing, yeah, dumbbell curls and body weight training and so on and so on for 1.5 years, 2 years, something about that. And after that, I continued with going to the gym and yeah, was pretty successful. Put on some serious mass. Was working really good and had a lot of fun about it. And then I decided to do my first bodybuilding competition in the year 2019 with two of my friends. One of them was studying with me industrial engineering, and yeah, we both liked the sport, so we decided to go on stage together. Was pretty cool. Did the ANBF, GNBF, and the how is it called? WNBF Germany in this year. Also got pro at the WNBF Germany then, so I won the overall, which was more or less the absolute highlight of the season.
That was your
And
first season.
it was my first season, yeah. And
Wow.
I was 21 years old. Yeah, I just became 21 years old when doing the how's it called, the WMBF Germany.
That's insane,
Yes.
man. So at 26, you've already been bodybuilding for over a decade already.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think that's important for people to understand because, you're young, right? Like you're just past mid 20s, and with the physique you have, obviously there's a genetic component, but let's not discredit the fact that you've been doing this consistently since you were 14, right? So 12 years later, you're in the position you're in now. What was like early inspirations, like when you're 14, 15 years old? Was it just your father, or was there others that you looked up to?
Very, very good question. No, actually, my parents, of course, my parents are some kind of an idol for me. But in terms of sports, in terms of bodybuilding, it was actually persons like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator or Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone at Rocky or whatever,
sure.
which made me, yeah, having the, how is it called? Having the imagination of the perfect male physique,
Yep.
to have to look like this. So
Yep.
I always said, in my opinion, a male has to be muscular, has to be jacked, and that's what also was my perfect imagination about it. And then I
Yep.
decided, okay, how can I get there? I was doing a lot of different sports before, like track and fields, like how is it called? Doing saltos, flips, and so on. I don't know the name of
Sure.
the
Yep.
sports in English,
Yep.
but yeah, and also doing motocross and some fighting sports, taekwondo,
Wow.
but all of them, yeah, were a little bit problematic because of the time. I always had to be at this time at this location,
Yeah.
and with
Yeah.
the gym, I was my own boss, so I could
Yeah.
decide when to go and so on and so on. Yeah.
Do you recall what those early days looked like as far as training? Like, were you doing like one body part a day? Were you looking up Arnold's chest workout or whatever the case may be?
Well, so as I said, my first idols were like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, and so on and so on. After that, when I got into the whole the whole, yeah, how's
Like
it called,
bodybuilding.
environment,
Yep, yep.
bodybuilding environment. My idol switched to, yeah, Jeff Seid, Lazar Angelov, the classic fitness models,
Yeah, for sure.
the might be natty fitness models, you know what I mean?
Yep, yep.
And yeah, that was pretty cool. And then wait, now I lost my point. Yeah, then it was like at first, as I said, I was doing, yeah, curls with my dumbbells, body weight training, and so on and so on for, I don't know, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, something like that. After that, I continued to go to the small gym in our school.
Hmm.
There we also had a small room packed with some gym machines, and there I was also doing 2 to 3 times a week. More or less upper body training only. I didn't train legs back to then
You were the
because
classic gym bro.
yeah, the gym bro, the yeah, that's absolutely true. And but I also have to say my legs were pretty good back then as well. So I didn't see the use of it. I just wanted to get bigger delts, bigger arms, bigger chest and back and so on.
Yep.
So that was my focus for the first 2 years or something about that. And then after that, I continued doing a 5 times a week split, a classic pro split, where every muscle group is trained only once a week.
Hmm.
Mm, was okay, but then I got up to, I don't know, 90 or maybe 95 kilograms on a flat bench press. And I just didn't get further than this. And then a friend of mine told me, hey, wait a second, the scientific base says a higher frequency, maybe increasing your muscle growth or strength levels.
Yep.
And then I switched to upper body, lower body.
Okay.
So upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body, and weekend rest. And then I was able to, yeah, manage my progress even better. Yeah, and got over the 100 kilograms bench press mark.
Yep. Sweet. That's awesome, man. I'm curious too, like nutrition wise back then, do you recall, were you following any structured plan or was it just like I just need to eat a lot and eat a lot of protein and lift weights and that's it?
Yeah, you got the point.
Good.
That's what it was actually all about. I was living at home. My mom cooked for me and so on and so on. So there
Perfect.
was those fish sticks with potatoes and so on and so on. And I ate a lot of them. I ate as many or as much as I was able to eat. I
Yeah.
was kind of a hard gainer. I was sometimes struggling with eating enough calories in order to gain weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the deeper I got into bodybuilding, the more I managed my whole nutrition and yeah, got a little bit stricter about
Yeah.
it.
I love hearing that. There's something so pure about just those early days, long before, the social media landscape is what it is
Mm,
now, and there's a million ways to do things, and everybody's telling you what to do, what not to do, and this is right, this is wrong. Like, lift weights, eat protein. I can't remember who I saw post that. Maybe Seth Feroce posted that like a couple months ago, and I was like, that's it. Like, lift weights, eat protein. If every
mm,
young lifter just understood those two things, they'd
yes,
probably get a good solid couple years under their belt of making progress, right?
definitely, definitely.
Sweet, sweet. James, anything else you got questions on top of your head before we jump to
Well,
next season?
I think it shows the evolution of the sport, but also the evolution of some of the top athletes within the sport, right? It's not like you started from the get-go with like the perfect meal plan, the perfect training split. You continued to learn as you went along, and you just did it for long enough, right? And those two things are crucial. Like Leroy said, like it's putting in effort, but it's also putting in time and being a student of the sport. If you want to be the best, you can't just do the exact same thing for 14 years because it's unlikely that you're doing everything right. So
Mm,
you adapted as you learned and you picked up different, tips and tricks along the way.
yeah, for sure.
Yep, 100%. Okay, let's jump forward now to 2024. I think this is kind of what I really want to pick your brain about because this was quite the season, probably one of the most impressive seasons we've seen through Natty News in quite some time, just as far as like accomplishments, physique in general. Let's go back. When did prep start?
When did prep start? Good point. Wait a second. I think maybe I have to say one little thing that was or that came up before prep started, and it was a injury, a little inflammation, or not just a little inflammation, but a really injury here with my distal bicep tendon. I had pain in it, especially when I did the supination movement. I had pain in my elbow here in the inside of my elbow, and then I decided to let it check, and my doc told me, oh, this doesn't look good. It seems like your distal bicep tendon is already ripped and you have to stop training for 12 weeks.
Oh
And then I
shit.
was like, holy fucking shit. I'm more or less 1 week out before my prep starts, and
Yeah.
I want to do this prep because this is the year where the best of the best athletes ever compete, and I want to be part of it. And then I decided, shit, what can I do? And well, I did physiotherapies, and that was really working good. I did, how's it called? Eccentric training for my biceps, and I tried to let it rest, let my right arm rest, and train with the left arm, and so on for the first 2 to 3 weeks. And then I said, okay, it seems like it's getting better, but now I want to push again. I want to give it all so that I don't small during prep because I was also already in a smaller caloric deficit. And then it started, so I was starting prep in, I think it was the beginning of April or something like that. And well, my pain in the distal bicep tendon got better and better day by day or week by week
Yep.
without taking any anti-inflammational medicaments and so on and so on. But it was just like because the inflammation went down just because my calories decreased. And this was more or less heaven for me because now I was able to train really hard again. And yes, then my prep continued until starting at start of November, and then it was over. Yeah, so now you can continue with your questions.
So what was starting body weight?
Mm, it was 99 kilograms or something like that. My highest off-season weight was about 101, 102, but it already decreased a little bit because of those inflammational points.
So around 220 pounds or so, give or
Yeah,
take.
true.
Okay. So what was the duration between start of prep to your first show, and which show was that? What started the season?
Mm, the duration should be, I don't know, wait a second. I think it was 4.5 months or something, because my first show was at the end of August.
Okay.
August the 28th was my first competition, and it was the Austrian Oak here in Austria, a NPC competition,
Yep.
which was a regional show and a pro qualifier combined in one. Um, but I was only allowed to compete in the regional part because I didn't have the regional certificate until then.
Okay. Okay. And was
Yeah.
that a tested NPC show or untested?
No, it was untested.
It was
It was
untested.
untested, and I just wanted. I've never competed in NPC before or
Yep.
against enhanced athletes before, and yeah, it was some kind of a challenge for me,
Sure.
but very interesting, and it was also a very good show with a lot of how's it called? How's it called? Viewers that made
Sure.
really good atmosphere and so on.
Awesome. Sweet. And what was the results of that?
I was competing at bodybuilding till 90 kilograms and also classic physique open B. That was the class until 180, 187, 178 centimeters. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And in both classes, or in the bodybuilding class, I did the first place. In my classic physique class, I also did the first place. But in the overall, it was a close thing in both divisions. It was a very close thing. But I only got second at those,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So second in the overall against some untested athletes. So obviously a pretty strong start to the season.
Yeah, I have to say the untested or the other guys at the overall, especially in bodybuilding, the guy was, I think, a little bit smaller than me, 5 centimeters smaller, something like that, but 10 kilograms heavier. So there was just
Yeah,
just some more mass. And
for
classic
sure.
physique is it was almost the same topic. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. Which is understandable, right? Like you got to expect that kind of stuff when you're going into the untested shows, that, there's going to be guys that are playing with different tools than you were, but it is what it is, right?
Yes, true.
Okay, first show down. What's next?
So then this was my warm-up show, end of August. Next show took place 1 month later. It was the Wider Classic, also a NPC competition, untested, here in Germany, just I don't know, 140 kilometers away from me.
Mhm.
And also was able to manage my class at bodybuilding till 90 kilograms.
Yep.
Won that one. And in classic physique also started at the open B till 178 centimeters. And got second there. It was also very, very fucking close, and I was pretty damn pissed that I got second here because yeah, the winner actually was able to win the overall, and that
Hmm.
would have been a pretty nice achievement. But I have to
For
say,
sure.
it was okay because he and me, I would say we were at the pretty same level or something like that. But I was fine with it. Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Okay, so you started the season two NPC shows to kick off the
true.
season.
Yes.
Were you kind of aiming for potential IFBB Pro card? Is that kind of on the back of your mind or what?
Good point. Well, the first show was just really just for fun because I didn't have any
Sure.
benefit of it. But the
Yep.
second show was necessary to get the regional certificate of the NPC,
Okay.
and being able to compete afterwards in a pro competition. And we're coming to this competition afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. So those were your stepping stone to then try to get a IFBB Pro card.
Yes, true.
Okay. Two shows down. What's next?
Two shows done. Next show was the ANBF, Austrian
Ah,
Natural
yes.
Bodybuilding Federation here in Linz at the
Such a
Tips
good show.
Arena.
Good show.
Definitely, definitely. It was absolutely, yeah, astonishing. Because this show was actually the most important show for me. Screen sharing started. Okay, I was just a little bit confused.
Yep, yep.
Um,
I'm pulling up your photos.
oh, okay, okay, easy going. Yeah. So ANBF was more or less the most important show for me because there, my whole family
Awesome.
was there to cheer me up, and also a friend of mine or many friends of mine were there. My girlfriend was with me, and so on and so on. And I would also say I had definitely my best shape at this competition. I was ripped, I was fresh, and I was full as fuck. And all in combination, I was very, very happy with the
Yeah.
look.
Look at that. Look at that. Those got to be some of your favorite stage photos too.
Yeah, true. My all-time favorite is the one with the sword.
Yes.
But I think we will see it later.
That's awesome. What
Is
did so
that pin?
you
Probably pin, huh?
mentioned you mentioned being full. What did you do that you recall that helped with that look?
Well, actually, I always try to replicate this this loading strategy that I was doing here. Um, and yeah, I had 800 grams of carbs for 2 days, and before of that, I was depleting
Hmm.
with 50 grams of carbs for also 2 days. But here it worked perfectly, and the next time it wasn't, yeah, absolutely perfect, probably because of the higher cortisol levels.
Sure, sure. So yeah,
Because
that
everything else was the same.
right. So this show was just like a perfect storm of everything lining up excellent for you.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one was the DFAC Worlds, what we are seeing here.
So yeah, so that show there, you mentioned having friends and family in the audience, and I think that's something that any competitor can probably kind of resonate with, that how much that matters and how how nice that can be, right? Like, and we'll get into it, right? Where you've traveled for shows and maybe you're traveling alone or maybe just with your coach or just with your girlfriend. And, obviously it's nice to have those people there, but if you can have an audience full of people that are supporting you and cheering you on, you can't really, like, no trophy would ever replace that, right?
Mm. Yeah, true, true. And here at the AMBF, it was pretty damn cool because for this competition, I was organizing a cameraman who made a video for my YouTube channel because all the other times I was doing it on my own,
Hmm.
which was also a little stress factor. But here everything was just perfectly flowing, and yeah, I will always remember this day in my life.
No, that's amazing, man. All right, so third show, best look that you're feeling, great environment, great experience. Next up, DFAC, right?
Definitely. No, actually not. The next show was we see it here on the right down photo, in the right down corner. Yeah, here. I was doing the NPC Pro qualifier in
Oh, yep.
Poland
Okay.
in Warsaw, and it was also damn good. I was also happy with my package. I had a little problem before with my legs because it was just 2 or 3 days before where I trained legs very, very hard. Of course, because of competing back to back, I wasn't able to do yeah, 2 leg days in between. So this one leg day has to be all in. And
Sure.
there I had a little problem with my with my skin. It wasn't like thick skin, so there was a little spilling between muscle and my skin, so a little water spilling, and I had to manage to get my inflammations out in order to get really, really shredded legs. But
Hmm.
it was working. It was fine so far. And yeah, here it was also the point. Yeah, I managed to win my class bodybuilding up to 90 kilograms. But there I have to say there was only one competitor next to me, which wasn't so satisfying for me.
Yeah.
But then in the overall, there was a huge difference between me and the other two guys. Well, actually, I have to say, or I would say, in terms of structure, um, I was ahead of them, or I would have been the first, but also in terms of conditioning. But those those two guys were just so damn massive. They
Yeah.
were, I don't know, 10, 15 kilograms heavier than me, maybe even 20 kilograms,
Well,
and there was no chance. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But again, the game you play in the untested shows, right?
Yeah, yeah, the game I play. That's true. And then one day later, there was the Classic Physique taking place, and I also competed there as well in the True Novice class because True Novice means at the NPC Pro Qualifier a guy that has never competed at a Pro Qualifier. So I
Okay.
competed there as well. Also won that class, but that wasn't my focus. My focus was actually the open classes. So I competed at the open class B as well.
Hmm.
And there, unfortunately, I just got fourth, which was, yeah, a little bit, how is it called? Um,
Like disappointing.
Disappointing. Thank you very much. It was a little bit disappointing. Also didn't get it because, in my opinion, the physique of those guys were not that astonishing. There was another guy in another class that I would have seen at the as the overall winner, definitely. But in
Sure.
my class, I don't know. It was not. In my opinion, I have beaten guys at the Austrian AUG, for example, or also at the Wider Classic that were improved compared to those guys here in Poland.
Yep. But the subjectivity of the sport, right? Nothing we can do
True,
about that.
definitely.
All right. So that's now your fifth time on stage because that's, Saturday and Sunday, right? You did,
Yeah, okay.
right? So, because you competed the bodybuilding and then classic the next day. So you've been on stage
Mhm.
5 times so far this season.
Yes.
Now, where do we go? Is that your
Uh,
DFAC next?
True, we are heading over to the DFAC Worlds, which was also pretty damn cool
Where was
because
that
in
again?
when was it?
Where? Where was
Where
it located?
it was that's what I wanted to talk about. It was pretty cool because it was here just 70 or 80 kilometers away from me,
Oh,
from my
perfect.
home, here
Perfect.
in Erding, which is near to Munich. And it was pretty cool because I I've been there 2023 supporting a friend of mine who won the European Championships. And back to then, the competition or the whole show was not that great, or it was great, but it was not such a good atmosphere there. So no
Okay.
people cheering, no music, no, I don't know, the whole location wasn't filled completely, it wasn't filled out. There
Right.
was only, yeah, I don't know, 20% of the whole seats
Sure.
filled.
Sure.
But this time it was way better. The whole location was full. There was a huge fan base there, who was cheering up all the athletes. And yeah, it was also pretty cool. The judging was fine for me. I was also or I also had a athlete there because I'm also doing coaching
Hmm.
business, and he also got second in his place, which I was absolutely fine with. And yeah, the the greatest thing about the DFAC is actually the athlete-friended mindset. So with all the costs and so on and so on, but also with the trophies. I mean, look at this trophy, for example. It is just now
Yeah.
you don't see it perfectly because it's blurred, but it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's epic.
Having something like this at home, it's way better than just a I don't know.
Like a
Yeah,
medal.
yeah, no, your medal is awesome. I don't want to make it smaller than it is. It's great. It's absolutely great, but just a basic trophy isn't that cool. But this is absolutely great. I
Yeah.
also won a sword at this competition as well, which was also absolutely cool.
Yeah. If Dan scrolls back, yeah, right there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
I'll have a
Sweet.
photo with you and David K too.
Yeah, that's
Very
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you've now 6 shows, your world championship here.
Yes.
So you've won the ANBF, you've won your first world title of the season, couple NPC placings. Next up, where are we going? Evo?
We're heading over to the Evo Classic.
So
Evo Classic.
for those who don't know, can you kind of describe the Evo Classic really quick? It's kind of like isn't it, don't you have to do like a like an
Qualifier.
invite, a qualify? Yeah.
Mm. Well, actually, the Evo Classic exists now since 2022.
Hmm.
There I also competed and won my class, the heavyweight class, or back then the super heavyweight class, um, which was also pretty cool. And yeah, the Evo Classic is more or less a yeah, we can actually say the biggest bodybuilding event in the whole world, I would say, measured from the guys sitting in the audience. There was around 3,000 guys sitting in the audience, which was
Holy.
absolutely great. Yeah,
Wow.
the
wow.
stage was also absolutely big, and the quality of the athletes was
Yeah.
also simply amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you did 2022. Who won the overall back then? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a friend of mine. It was Fabian,
Oh, Fabian.
Fabian
Yep.
Faric Pingis.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, he's incredible. Um,
definitely.
all right, so you did the Evo Classic, took the overall there. I see we got a little bit of prize money, which is nice.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. How did you feel about this look?
I wasn't completely happy with the look. I was before the show, it was actually pretty fine. But I don't know, this time my skin and my whole body didn't work that great with Dream 10. We were using Dream 10 here,
Okay.
and 2022 it was working perfectly. But this time, I don't know, maybe the layer was a little bit too thick. I was sweating all the time. The It was
Right.
just running down, and maybe I was also a little bit too much carved up,
Okay.
so that I was sweating that much.
Hmm.
Maybe a little bit less would have been more. But yeah, it was enough to win, but it was definitely not the best look of the whole season, in my opinion. But it was also good, I would say. I mean, it wasn't terrible or something like that, because
Yeah.
otherwise I wouldn't have been able to win with this lineup. but it was a little bit worse than, for example, at the ANBF.
Yeah, we're looking at percentages here, right? I mean, we're looking at these photos, like anybody's going to look at this and go, "What the hell is he talking about? He looks like Superman." But when you're comparing, your absolute best potentially at the ANBF, you do notice those little things where you're like, legs weren't as sharp maybe, or maybe my lower back could have been a bit tighter just because of the sweating and that kind of stuff. Like even like you said with the tan, like that alone, like you might physically look exactly the same, but the tan, a little bit of sweating, all of a sudden you look at photos and you're like, that's not what I'm aiming for, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Yep.
true.
Cool. Okay, so takes the championship at the Evo. Scroll up, Dan. What's next? Are we going to WNBF yet, or do we got more?
No, we're going to the WMBF.
All right, so we're at the WNBF Valhalla. This was pretty cool. This was pretty cool. Coming,
Yeah.
I think Dirk won it
A lot of
last
cool
year.
trophy. You got a lot of cool trophies this year, huh?
Definitely, definitely, yeah. Yeah, well, actually, I have to say, after the Evo, I was satisfied in a certain way.
with
I
the with
said,
the
okay,
season.
with the season, I said, okay, I achieved almost everything that I wanted to achieve.
Hmm.
IFBB Pro card would have been nice, but well, it's yeah, kind of a luck game, or how is it called? Know what I mean? But the WMBF was just so my goal to finish my season there because next to the competition location there's a very good restaurant where I wanted to finish the season with my family together.
Spoken like
Um,
a true champion.
yeah, and then I said, okay, I will go for this show as well. In 2022, I was very disappointed of the WMBF Germany in terms of judging. I got fifth back then, and yeah, I couldn't understand the decision. And I'm really, I would say, I'm a very fair loser, if you know what I mean. So I can
Sure.
understand in most points, I can understand, and I'm fine with it, and so on and so on. But here, I checked out the photos, I checked out the footage, and I said, wait a second, no, I just don't get it. I
Yep.
would say second or third place should have been yeah should have been the judging. But I got fifth, and yeah, didn't get it. But then I said, okay, in 2024, I want to
Avenge
get
Redeem
what
that.
I
yourself.
deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And obviously you did that, right? Took that sweet Thor's hammer trophy home.
Yes, I have
Awesome.
the whole toolbox at home.
That's right. That's right.
Cutting my
Um,
meat
yeah.
and smashing it to get
Yeah.
it very soft and
And then you got out to enjoy some food with family, right?
yes, it was absolutely great. I had a Bavarian duck, when I remember correctly, and after that we also headed over to Burger King where I got a hot blondie with ice. It was delicious.
Perfect cap to the season, right?
Yeah, I also I have to say I was very much thinking about also going over to the US to, for example, Ben Wader Naturals or Natural Olympia or how's it called? WMBF Worlds. But I said, oh damn, I'm completely fried. I got a flu
I was gonna say,
after the
I remember you saying you started to get sick.
yes, true. I after the Evo, I got sick. I was standing there at the WMBF Germany like I'm just a zombie or something like that. So it
Yeah.
was absolutely terrible. But then I said, okay, I want to get back to normal life, enjoying life with my
Yeah.
girlfriend and so on and so on. And then I said, okay,
You've been competing
maybe
since August at that point. Yeah.
yeah,
When was the WNBF show again?
it was on 20th of November or something like that.
Yeah, so you're
Or
August,
October, probably, right?
yeah, end of
No, no,
August.
November.
Said November.
Do you mean the Worlds or
No,
Uh,
the
the Germany.
German show?
Germany,
German show was on the 3rd of November, but
3rd of
the
November.
Worlds
Okay.
would have been on 20th or something like
Yeah.
that of November, and then three weeks more of dieting would have been
Yeah, because you were, that would have been 4 months in stage condition by that point, pretty much, right?
yeah 3 months. 3 months at least. Yeah.
Three and a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot, right? And it's not like your first show, it was like he's at like 70%, you know what I mean? Like those first shows, you're showing up probably 85, 90% ready to go, and then that next 3 months is just those final touches. So for all intents and purposes, you're basically on stage conditioning for, like you said, 3 months. So
Mm,
that obviously takes its toll, right? For those that haven't been there or then tried to hold that for an extended period of time, like it really starts to hurt.
yes,
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
said your best
definitely.
look was at ANBF, so that was several weeks prior. So yeah, I can understand that. I know a lot of people, including myself, wanted to see you up against Babacar, though.
Yeah, that would have been so damn interesting, but I have to say, Babacar is just so damn full. I don't know, um, maybe because of the size difference and also the conditioning, I could have done some points. But I think if I was as small as him with the same structure, I think I had no chance, actually. I really have to say that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a respectful answer, man. We're talking about arguably potentially the best bodybuilder, in the like when you think of the best natural bodybuilders ever, right? He's a
Hmm.
name that's probably going to be on most people's list, right? So for you to be like, he'd probably get me. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, Babacar, maybe also, yeah, Patrick Teutsch, of course, and
Yeah.
how is it called, or how is he called? We had him before. Now I lost his name. He was
Fabian?
there. Uh, no, God damn it, the guy from the DFAC, which was who was
Oh,
standing
David K. David K.
David K. Yeah, would have also been interesting, but it is how it is. Maybe in another
You
season,
got a bucket
maybe
list
in,
now.
sorry.
You got a bucket
Oh,
list.
a bucket
Guys,
list, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So fast forward, now as of recording this, middle of January. So you're, going on 2.5 months removed from the stage. Where are you at as far as like off season plans? How long? What are you focusing on?
Very good question. Well, actually, now I'm at 98 kilograms, so around about 10 kilograms above stage weight. And yeah, training is going good. It's I'm having a lot of fun with it. Strength levels going up, fullness is getting back, and so on and so on. So the gaining phase is running really good. But I'm a little bit struggling with myself where the journey should go on, if you know what I mean. So,
Elaborate. Take us further down that hole. What are you talking
uh,
about?
well, actually, I'm still natural, and but I'm not sure if I will stay in the natural journey forever, if you know what I
Sure.
mean. Because,
Sure.
well, actually, now I've almost got everything in the natural division that I could receive.
Yeah.
And so many guys are coming up to me and say, "Hey, Chu, your structure, your whole physique, and so on and so on would be so damn perfect for, or would or has so much potential for the biggest stage in the world." And yeah, I'm really struggling with me if I should take the way for me or not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but you
Sure.
can also yeah, tell me your opinion about it.
Does the NPC have any, like, are they, because they're obviously going down the natural route pretty heavily here in North America. Is it similar over there where they're starting to pop up with natural shows in your neck of the woods?
No, actually not. Maybe next year, but this year only in
Yeah.
France there was one natural competition.
Yep.
But in but here in Germany there was none of them.
Yeah.
And I think also next year there will not be, I don't know, many natural competitions. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I'm also fine actually with competing against enhanced guys, and I'm very yeah, how's it called? Positive minded to be able to win a pro card
Yep.
after a 2 year off season or something like that, because
Yeah.
I know that I need a little bit more meat on my delts, on my upper chest, maybe also on my traps and on my arms. But
Mhm.
I think in 2 years, when I look back to the progress of 2022 to 2024, where I gained about 2.5 or 3 kilograms more stage weight.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's definitely possible to bring that package in order to win a IFBB Pro card. But after that, what else? So
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So then
Yeah.
I have the Pro card. I can write in my bio IFBB Pro. Cool. But what else? So
Yeah. So
Line up against Patrick and Babacar.
yeah, Patrick is out.
at where?
Patrick is out.
Yeah.
Patrick
What?
is not in the natural division anymore.
Oh,
Oh, he
You
made the
didn't?
leap.
didn't know that.
He called it out on social media and so on. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Guess we missed that. Yeah.
Uh,
It's tough, right? Like totally understand what you're saying. So for example, speaking for me here in Canada, we have two natural pro qualifiers,
oh, okay.
and then we have a natural IFBB Pro show for the first time this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the US, similar idea. They have a few pro qualifiers. Um, I think there's two or three like natural IFBB Pro shows that you could do. But the problem is those don't take you, well, no, those don't take you to the Olympia.
Mm.
They take you to the Ben Weider Pro.
And the Ben Wader has to be one in the overall way, and after that we can go over to the yeah. And
Yep.
I think there's definitely the chance to win it, in my opinion. I don't know. It's of course depending on how on who comes, but we have to say also the testing regulations at the NPC Naturals is yeah
It's not perfect.
is not bulletproof.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. No, I mean, interestingly enough, I think our last few guests we've had a very similar conversation with, and it's a respectable, mindset to have, right? Where, especially for yourself, it's like, okay, maybe there's a two or three more accomplishments naturally. Your WNBF world champion, maybe, natural Mr. Olympia at the INBA, PNBA, but outside of that, if you're looking to pursue other accomplishments, it's like, well, maybe that is moving to the other side of the sport, right? And you sound like you're someone that would very much do things properly and do your homework and not abuse your body for more than you have to, right? And you've been doing this 12 years by at this point, 13, 14 years by the time you step on stage, like you've clearly built an incredible physique naturally. So it's like if you look at who's qualified to go enhance, like you would check those boxes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, right? Like, like you're clearly stewing about it for a reason, right? It's not just
Mm.
a simple decision to make. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like you're probably weighing out a few pros and cons in your head, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I also have to say it's the first time in my life actually after this season that I'm really thinking about it. Before it was when guys asked me, "Oh, if you hopped on gear, you would look like this and this."
Yep.
Yeah, just talk about it. I'm not
Yeah.
interested. But
Yeah.
now it's like I don't know what happens if what happens if I never did it. Will
Yeah.
I struggle with myself? Ah, God damn it! Why was I so stupid and didn't hop on gear way earlier or something like that? I don't know. It's just not safe yet, or my decision
Yeah.
is not completely fixed.
Yep.
After my competitions, I said no, I will stay natty. And this was also yeah meant seriously. But now I just reflected my whole season. I reflected that, yeah, I did almost all natty accomplishments. So with the shows I did, of course, as you said, Boston or WMBF Worlds, Natural
Yep.
Olympia, and
Yeah.
so on, is still the box is still not ticked. But well, when I look back, who actually won the Natural Olympia, I can say, okay, I would have also won it probably.
I agree.
Like when I compare who won uh the WMBF World's Heavyweight, I can also say, okay, also managed this before, so I think I
Yeah,
would have
because
been
you
possible to win it as well.
Yeah, you
you
matched up against Samuel, didn't
you
you?
beat him at
Yeah,
Germany, right? Or at
yeah,
the
true.
Valhalla.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And then
So for
the
sure.
only thing is actually the overall title at the WMBF Worlds.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's the only thing.
When you look at who won their pro card at the Ben Weeders, because Daniel won his, and then another gentleman won his, do you think you would have been in that? Obviously, like I guess you've beaten Daniel before, so had you have done the Ben Weeders, you probably would have won your IFBB pro card, right?
Yeah, I have to say Daniel is a absolute great athlete with an astonishing physique. And but as you said, I have beaten him 3 times before, so I
Yep.
think there would have definitely been the chance to also win the
Yeah.
IFBB Pro Card there. But yeah, yeah, that's actually it.
Yeah. The other problem
Like
too with
like you said though, it's not just about winning that card, it's about being competitive once you have that card, which unfortunately for most people is going to require something different.
Yeah, actually in untested pro shows, definitely.
yeah. The problem too is right now with the natural IFBB stream, the numbers are still so small. You know what I mean? So at the pro Ben Weeders, there was three bodybuilders. Matt, he's a fellow Canadian, myself, lives a couple hours from me. He was the strong win in bodybuilding, but it was only against two other guys. Classic physique had a better turnout that Patrick won, but still, like when you look at the open bodybuilding in these natural IFBB pro shows, I think you're looking at very small numbers for a good couple years until they build those people up, right? Just because
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the athletes yet that have won
Yeah.
natural IFBB pro cards. So if you're going in, as an IFBB pro and you're like, I want to be competitive and get in the mix, well, it's the untested shows, you know what I mean? Whether you're natural or enhanced, like if you want actual stronger numbers to compete against, you got to go to your Chicago Pro, your Toronto Pro, your Tampa Pro that are the untested side of the show, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I have to emphasize again the NPC natural division, because of the 3-year anti-doping regulation,
Yeah,
is just not the absolute holy grail for me.
sure. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not totally
that's
fair, man.
it.
Yep.
I mean,
Totally fair.
it would be cool to compete against other guys. That's cool, but it's I don't know. I feel some kind of kidded. How is it called? Is it called like that?
I
Or
get,
tricked
yeah,
out
I get what you're saying.
when
Yep.
competing there, and those guys might have been on gear until, yeah, 3 years before or something like that, and then
Yeah.
they win the show and I get second or something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's very gray. There's still some kinks they need to work out for the people that are truly lifetime natural that are competing, right? Because like you said, there's guys that are potentially taking stuff for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, come off for a couple years, and they're like, "Oh, I'm natural now." It's like, are you though? Yep, yep,
Yeah.
for sure, man, for sure. All right, man, let's close this out with quickly heading into the off season. You touched on some areas you want to focus on. What muscle groups you looking to bring up?
Yeah, actually it's the same weak points like the last years as well. I was
Sure.
always focusing on my shoulders and arms, delts and
Yep.
arms.
Yep.
Also upper chest a little bit, or chest in general.
Yep.
I would say, yeah, quads and lats are my biggest strength.
Strong points.
Um, and hams are also fine. Traps are also okay, or fine. It's okay so far. But yeah, arms, delts, and upper chest mostly.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome, man. Well, plug the social media and stuff if people want to follow along. Where do they find you?
You can find me on my Instagram, Julian_Bruske, and also on YouTube if you're German, or yeah, if you just want nice visuals, you can also watch my channel, but it's actually in German.
Fair
So it's
enough.
also Julian Bruske on YouTube. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, people. Well, give the man a follow, show him some support. Scroll back through his Instagram if you want to see some pretty impressive stage shots and that kind of stuff. You documented your prep pretty extensively on social media. I know the three of us were following along through Natty News and everything like that, and it was really cool to watch, man. You did a lot of pretty cool stuff this year, and I think it's going to be a season to remember, not only for you but for natural bodybuilding because you went on a tear.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next one.